The goal of this video is to demonstrate the initial portions of vessels contributing to the anterior circulation of the brain, also known as the system of the internal carotid artery. Here's the parent vessel, the internal carotid artery, on each side, and then we can see the posterior communicating artery running in the caudal direction, to join the vertebrobasilar system here. And now we can identify the anterior choroidal artery, also from internal carotid, running in the caudal lateral direction. The anterior choroidal artery is following the optic tract for a while, and then it enters the inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. This has been opened up by the removal, the resection of part of the temporal lobe, and you can see the artery going into the inferior horn of lateral ventricle. Now we can point to a large terminal branch of internal carotid, the middle cerebral artery. The middle cerebral artery runs in the lateral direction, occupying this position between the frontal and the temporal lobes. The middle cerebral artery will reach the floor of lateral cerebral fissure and then will go on to supply the convexity of the hemisphere. I can now show you the other terminal branch of internal carotid, the anterior cerebral artery, originating here, running medially and anteriorly. Let's retract the optic nerve and the optic chiasm to show you the communication between the two sides, the anterior communicating artery. Just finishing up our quick demonstration here. Let us look at an additional vessel we have not seen before, the recurrent artery of Heubner, sometimes called medial striate artery. This is a branch of the anterior cerebral artery. Here is anterior cerebral artery, anterior communicating artery, just moving to the other side of anterior cerebral to look for a good example of the recurrent artery of Heubner, which originates somewhat more distally, but it comes back. It is running back toward the anterior perforated substance of the brain, where in fact it penetrates, as I am pointing here to the anterior perforated substance. So this was the recurrent artery of Heubner. Let us look at the anterior choroidal artery one more time in the specimen with the brainstem removed, having been cut at the midbrain. Once again, the origin of anterior choroidal artery, and then it runs parallel to optic tract, Now disappearing from our view underneath the uncus and in between the uncus and the cerebral peduncle, as we have seen previously, this artery enters the inferior horn of lateral ventricle.